If this is the reason why you called me, please stop. Am I a money-making machine? Or you think I don't work hard to make this money? Once upon a time, in the beautiful city of Agudo, there lived a man named Okezie, and he was married to a woman named Adaora. Okezie and Adaora have been married for the past 13 years and do not have a child. They have trusted God all these years for the blessing of children, but it was not forthcoming. Okezie and Adaora have sought medical and traditional help, yet Adaora could still not conceive. So they decided to wait for God's own time. Okezie was a successful businessman. He owned a big supermarket in the bustling area of the city. He also owned a shop where he sold stationaries, while Adaora worked as a teacher in a government secondary school. One afternoon, Adaora had just returned from school and was trying to rest when her phone rang. It was one of Adaora's younger sisters, Nkiru, who had been pestering Adaora over some weeks now for the school fees of her children. Adaora looked so sad and frustrated. This has become the norm for her siblings. Adaora has been burdened with the needs of her siblings for many years now, which made it impossible for her to have a savings or afford a good life for herself and her husband. Please, Nkiru, you have a husband. Tell him to take care of his children. Haven't I done enough for you? Nkiru, I saw you through university. Even during your wedding, my husband and I almost financed your wedding. Without your husband, you have 3 children now. It was my husband and I that paid for your hospital bill. Every financial need you have in your family, you call me as if I'm a money-making machine. Or you think I don't work hard to make this money? Nkiru, Omalicha, leave me now. Should I die for you people? So in that mood, Adaora ended the call. Adaora looked at her husband in frustration. Okezie, her husband, handed her over a glass of water. Ada, just take it easy. We are to blame for all this. Please drink this glass of water to calm your nerves. Don't allow this to affect you. Adaora, who was sitting on the sofa in their simple and cozy bedroom, thanked him as she drank the glass of water. It's okay, dear, Okezie said, sitting beside her. This is too much for me, Okezie. I don't know why my siblings refuse to grow up. How long will I continue to carry them on my back? Did anybody send them to come and kill me? Am I the only Ada in this world? Adaora complained with pain in her eyes. My family members are something else. The entitlement mentality is unbecoming. I have told Nkiru she is married. Let her become responsible for once. Now the other time, I advised her to go and start even if it's second-hand clothes business. But she refused. She continued to give one cock and bull excuse. I am fed up, oh. I'm fed up. I cannot be the one feeding and paying the school fees of Nkiru's children. Why she and her husband sit back and relax? My siblings are not thinking at all. Do they forget that I also have my own responsibility and needs? What is this now? Okay, they are telling me it's okay. You collected loan of 2 million naira from the bank so Akachukwu could buy a Belgium to use for Uber just 3 months ago. And only God knows what he did with the money. Every day he's on the phone, complaining about the car, developing one mechanical fault. What saddens my heart is that he still calls to ask you for money to fix the car, as if the car is yours. Don't understand though. Okezie, now we have been trying to save up for my IVF for the past 5 years. Okezie, both of us cannot save 3 million naira, which have been so hard to get because of our family financial needs that have overburdened us all these years. And this I should not complain. Okezie had to talk and talk, trying his best to calm Adaora down. Please, Ada, it's okay. You know the mentality of our people. If you don't have a child, they just presume you have no responsibility. Please, Adaora, calm down. I want to quickly join Nduka and our friends quickly. I've been seeing their call, but I refuse to take the call. You know they are waiting for me, so let me hurry. So Okezie grabbed his car keys and quickly left the house to meet his friends. Okezie and Adaora, before they got married, came from the same village. Their both families were friends and did lots of things together. Okezie was the first son of his parents. They were very poor farmers, so his father had to work as a gateman at the village community secondary school so he could be able to make more income for his family. Mama Okezie owned a small grocery shop at the village market. Okezie had 5 siblings. So as a young boy growing up, Okezie was shouldered with the responsibility of trying to help his family. When he was 15, he engaged in menial jobs so he could make money to support his family. When he was done with his secondary education, he had to give up his childhood dream of becoming an engineer. Okezie was very good in mathematics and science subjects. So when it was time for him to go to university, he had to step down for his immediate younger sister, Maggie, so she could register and write her WAEC. Even though it was painful for Okezie, Okezie have grown to be kind and so caring. He played the big brother role so well. He had this belief that the success of his siblings was also his success. So for 5 years, Okezie continued to step down for his siblings, suspending his education since his parents could not afford to send him to the university and also pay the school fees of his siblings. However, when Okezie turned 22, he decided to travel to Lagos, which he learned from his friend Nduka that it was a land filled with lots of opportunities. So he discussed his plans with his parents, who were skeptical and were worried. Okezie, I'm not against you traveling to Lagos, just that we have nobody there. His father also tried to make him see reasons not to travel to Lagos, but Okezie was determined. He was tired of the village. He did not see the village giving him that opportunity to make money and help his family. Papa, Mama, someone has to pay the price for others. So let me be the sacrificial lamb for my siblings. I see how both of you struggle, working tirelessly to provide for us the basic need of life. We all cannot continue to fold our hands while things go busy. Papa, I know your fears, but life is all about taking risk. Just like I've told you, I'm traveling with Nduka, and all I need from both of you is your prayers. That's all, Okezie said reassuringly. So a few days later, Okezie traveled with Nduka to Lagos. Before he left the village, his parents prayed for him and wished him well. Okezie was glad that he had his parents' blessings. Even though Nduka had been in Lagos for the past 3 years, he was still struggling financially. He worked in the motor park with one of the transport companies. So when Okezie joined him, they both worked for the transport company. And a few months after, Okezie was able to save up some money, which he used to start a small provision shop inside the motor park. He sold some vital items that passengers could urgently need for their travel. He also sold soft drinks and snacks. And after the close of activities in the motor park, Okezie slept inside his shop. This he did for the past 3 years, sending money to his parents and sponsoring his siblings through school. So a few years after, Okezie, from owning a shop at the motor park, progressed to setting up another shop in the bustling area of the city. And with determination in his heart, Okezie was able to sponsor his siblings through the university. He made this promise to himself and his parents that since he could not achieve his dream of going to the university, he was going to make sure his siblings went to the university. So for Okezie, he was happy that his dream was fulfilled in the lives of his siblings. Okezie's father had been sick for some time now, and after some months, his health continued to deteriorate. He was rushed one day to the hospital where he died. So Okezie returned home and single-handedly financed the burial of his late father. His mother was so impressed. She was happy with him, but she was disturbed about Okezie not considering marriage. After the burial of his father, Okezie, after spending a week in the village, told his mother that he would be traveling back to Lagos in 2 days' time. So his mother had some deep conversations with him the day before he traveled. Okezie, you are a son every mother wish and pray for, and I'm eternally grateful for standing as a father to your siblings. But I'm worried. You are now 37. You are doing so well for yourself, and you still don't want to consider marriage. Okezie, I'm worried. You overlabor yourself because of your siblings. See, my son, I do not say you should not help your siblings, but let them be responsible for themselves. Not this one that every little thing. Brother Okezie do this, brother Okezie do that. Now I learned that Maggie, your younger sister, who just got married 2 years ago, when she put to bed, the one that paid her hospital bill, when she have a husband, Okezie, does it mean that Maggie's husband cannot be responsible for once? Is his hands broken? Are they tied that he cannot make his own money? I don't understand though, Kezie. You already have grey hairs. This age, just because of all this responsibility you grapple with. I'm concerned, my son. See how your siblings are all living a soft life while you suffer for them. Mama, it's okay now. But I'm not complaining. Okezie tried to explain to his mother. But for Mama Okezie, she saw her children becoming parasites and biting hard on their elder brother. Okezie, I'm your mother. You have tried for your siblings. They are all educated. You did not just give them fish. You gave them opportunity to fish for themselves. So, my son, you have to focus on yourself. Get married and have your own children. Biko, Okezie continued, with concern in her eyes and her voice shaking. Mama, thank you. I've heard you. But you know Papa is no more. And my siblings are still not on their feet. Don't look up to me like a father. So that's why I'm trying hard to do the needful. But I've heard what you said. I appreciate it, Okezie said reassuringly. So the next day, Okezie traveled back to Lagos. It took Okezie 5 years before he got married to Adaora, who have graduated from the university and had just moved to Lagos. When they ran into each other at the market, they were so happy to see each other. After they exchanged pleasantries, Adaora said to Okezie, you know you hardly return to the village and you don't have a steady phone number. The last phone number I collected from your mother was unavailable whenever I tried to call you. Okezie and Adaora exchanged phone numbers and they started going out on different dates. Okezie, who have always had a soft spot for Adaora, quickly swung into action. During one of their dates, he proposed to Adaora. Adaora, who had always loved Okezie for the man he was right from when they were young and who he had become today, she was so proud of him. He was her spec. Okezie was a true gentleman, so kind and caring. So a few months after, Okezie and Adaora got married. Adaora was also the first child of her family, just as it is called in the Igbo culture. She was the Ada, and being an Ada comes with a lot of responsibility. For Adaora, she lost her both parents when she was in Form 4, and since then have been like a mother to her 3 siblings. At that very young age, she was saddled with the responsibility of taking care of them. Adaora struggled to sponsor herself through the university, even though she was under a federal government scholarship scheme. But she still had the responsibility to fend for her 3 siblings. Growing up was so tough for Adaora. She did a lot of business whilst in the university so she could be able to provide for her siblings their basic needs, also pay for their school fees. So luckily for Adaora, after graduation, she secured a good job with a big consultancy firm back then in Onitsha. The pay was good and came as a big relief to Adaora. Even though Adaora worked with this company for good 7 years, yet she could boast of no savings. In her name, Adaora could barely afford shopping for herself or could afford making beautiful hairstyles. As a young lady back then, all that occupied Adaora's mind was her siblings. This has been her situation all these years. So for Adaora and Okezie, their siblings have solely depended on them for everything. They always have this belief that Okezie and Adaora would always help them out whenever the need arises. Adaora was in the house one afternoon. After a tiring day, she was trying to work on her lesson notes for her students when she received a call from her younger brother Carlo. So after they exchanged pleasantries, Adaora, who have always known that Carlo's call was not without him asking for one thing or the other. Sister, please, don't be offended though. Need 500k for my wife to start a business. You know that since she has our last child, my salary has not been enough for us, he said desperately. Adaora, who was already pissed off, said to him, Bia Kalu, you have always known that you are not capable to take care of 3 children. So why did you bring them to this world? Or you just have this belief that I would always be there for you. I sponsored your wedding. You get your wife pregnant, and after her child delivery, I would pay her hospital bills. Kalu, why is it that any little thing you call me on the phone? Kalu, the truth be told, I don't know why you decide to be irresponsible. You are a man, a husband, and also a father to 3 children. You come here crying and asking for money. Kalu, do you still remember that I'm a woman in my husband's house and that I also have my responsibility too? Kalu, please. I have no money now. Whatever you have, give to your wife. You can be saving little by little from your salary until you save up for her business. Not calling me. See if I have a tree that grows money inside my compound. Kalu, who was poet and defiant, replied Adaora. Adaora, are you being wicked now? After all, we all know that you don't have a child to cater for. Are you buying pampers for anybody? Or formula? Where is the child? So which responsibility are you talking about, Adaora? Just say it straight that you don't want to give me anything. You look for another lie. Tell me. These words pierced and broke Adora's heart. She felt this pang in her heart. Adaora, who could no longer continue the conversation, heard the call. She sat down on her bed. Tears flowed down her cheeks. Oh God, did I do to Kalu this afternoon? Kalu, what is it? Did I do to you? Why use these harsh words? I'm not your mother, just your sister. After all the sacrifices, keeping my own responsibility and needs by the side just because of you, and you have the temerity to say such words to me. God, please, if what I did to my siblings was being foolish, then let me not have a child. But if giving them hope to live and they have the mind to hurt me, cause me all this pain, then oh God, look unto me with mercy and give me my own child. Adaora said sadly as tears continued to flow down her cheeks. Adaora have always wondered why her siblings were unreasonable. They are never bothered or made any attempt to help her or show concern about her childlessness. All that mattered to them was their needs being met. Adaora was deep in thought, drowning in sorrow and self-pity. She was the sacrificial lamb in her family. She never knew what it was, dressing like a young girl. She always looked more mature than her mates because of the stress, taking care of 3 siblings from a very young age. And today they don't care. They just saw it that it was her responsibility to take care of them. Adaora, who was still lost in thought, did not notice when Okezie walked in. He has been standing there for almost a minute now. Still, Adaora did not notice his presence, so Okezie had to call her, startling her back to reality. Adaora, what is it again? Your eyes are red and swollen. It is making you cry. Adaora, you know whenever I see you like this, it breaks my heart. What is it again this time? Okezie said, with pain in his voice. He was concerned for Adaora, who has been passing through a lot emotionally for some time now. Oh dear, please, I'm very sorry that you met me this way. It's nothing. I just have a lot of things going through my mind. Adaora said, quickly standing up, trying to dry her eyes with her hands as she headed to the bathroom. Let me quickly run a warm bath for you. As she left the bedroom, that evening, Okezie and Adaora had a quiet dinner. Okezie also had a lot troubling him, but he could say nothing to Adaora. So that night, before they retired for the night, Adaora and Okezie had deep conversations. Adaora said to Okezie, dear, I think it's high time we focus on ourselves. We need to save up for the IVF, which have been in our plans for some years now. We have lived our life all these years for our family. As you can see, they don't really care about us, Adaora said in a sad tone, trying to hold back the tears that was welling up her eyes. Okezie, our lives have just been stagnant all these years, and we are not getting any younger. It's okay, Adaora. It's just so sad that we are realizing now, even though it looks late, but it's not too late for us. I have also been thinking, you cannot believe what happened today. You know, I told you I will be going to see Maggie and her husband in their house. Dear, you need to see the insult I received today. When I got to Maggie's house, she stood me up for over 30 minutes at her gate. And when she finally allowed me enter her house, after I explained everything to her about the loan I collected to buy a Belgium car for Akachukwu to use as Uber, and also the loan I collected for the running of our supermarket. Adaora, you need to see his eyes. She was so furious. She bluntly said to me that they were trying to save up to buy a home. Naja, Adaora, both of us know how expensive getting a house in that highbrow area, and that the money I was requesting for would affect their plans. You need to see how she spoke to me without concern. Adaora, I've never been this embarrassed. If I was not the one that sponsored Ugochukwu's first business trip to China, and other countless times I gave him loan for his business, and today that God have blessed him, I was the one that had to greet him. This life, just so sad. Human being would easily forget those that helped them on their way to the top. So, Laura, agree with you. Just that the supermarket is really suffering. We don't have enough finance to buy goods. So as months passed, things became tougher for Okezie and Adaora. Had no family member to turn to for financial assistance. Soon, Okezie's supermarket folded as he got to pay all the loans he had collected from the bank, even though his friend Nduka, who he had gone to see, reminded him they newly came to Lagos. Okezie, didn't I warn you? Good to help family members, but you do it with wisdom. They can really disappoint and forget you when you really need them. I told you that they don't care about you, and you are busy saying I love my brother, that you really need to help them. Today, after all the help you render to them, what did they use to reward you back? Nothing. Even Donduka loaned Okezie some money, still not enough to keep the supermarket running. So Okezie and Adaora fell back on Adora's salary. That was not enough to maintain their lifestyle and pay rent. So a few years after, he moved to a suburb of Lagos, where the rent was affordable. Okezie got the news that his youngest brother Chibike, who won a scholarship to Canada a few years back, had just secured a good job with the Canadian government. He tried to reach him on the phone, but Chibike kept busying Okezie's number. So Okezie gave up calling him on the phone. I'm just feeling so sad. If anyone could tell me in this world that after everything I did for my siblings, they would turn their backs on me. Okezie lamented as he thought about his life and his sacrifice for his siblings. All he did just for them to have a better life. He also remembered the advice of his dear mother. Okezie was still sitting on the sofa, trying to figure out what to do with his life. His dear mother had been sick for some time now, and he alone have been shouldered with the responsibility to cater for her medical bills. That evening, he got a call from the village that Mama Okezie was gone. She had died that afternoon. Okezie was so sad. He was not just sad about his mother's death, but the expenses, the finances that would be involved in the burial of his late mother. His siblings no longer took his words serious. They looked at him in disdain. So after some deep thought, he made a call to his siblings about the death of their late mother. Okezie's siblings still left him with the responsibility of burying their late mother. He tried to put a call across to every one of them, but they refused to take his call. So Okezie was left with no choice but to bury his late mother. So with the help of some of his friends, he was able to raise some money, which he used to bury his late mother. His siblings did not show concern or even show gratitude to him for all his efforts. After the burial, they all quickly left the village back to their base. Okezie and Adaora spent few days in the village and returned back to Lagos. Adaora had been sick for some time now after their return from the burial of Okezie's late mother. So she decided to go to the hospital to see their family doctor before resuming for school that morning. Okezie, I think I may also add injections to this treatment. It has been long I took injections, Adaora suggested to Okezie as she was preparing to leave for the hospital that morning. Whatever it is that will make you better, the doctor is in the best position, Okezie replied. So that morning they both left for the hospital. Their family doctor, who have been their doctor for the past 15 years now, was also a family friend, suggested and also insisted that Adaora should undergo some lab tests to ascertain what was exactly wrong with her. Adaora and Okezie were in the doctor's office waiting for the lab test results when their doctor friend, Dr. Hilary, walked up to them with this seriousness on his face. He said to Okezie, "Man, you need to hear this. Adaora, your wife, is pregnant Adaora almost fell off the chair where she was sitting. She was trying to hold her breath. Her heart was racing fast. Me, pregnant? As in how? She asked Dr. Friend, so happy for them. Adaora, you are pregnant. Adaora could not contain her joy. She was so happy. Tears of joy was flowing down her cheeks. Okezie held her. That God has done it. It's only God. Throughout that day, Adaora and Okezie sang praises to God. Adaora and Okezie saw no reason to share the good news with their siblings. Adaora's 9 months pregnancy journey was not without some challenges because of her age, but God saw her through, and with the support of Okezie and some family friends, she was able to pull through the pregnancy. So in the 9th month of Adaora's pregnancy, she was delivered of a baby girl. They named her Mmesoma, meaning the goodness of God. Okezie and Adaora still did not share the birth of their beautiful daughter with their siblings. They kept it as a secret. As years passed, Mmesoma grew into a very beautiful girl. She was very intelligent and very good at mathematics and science subjects. When Mmesoma was 8, she was already representing her school in various mathematics and science competitions, which she always came out successful. When Mmesoma was in primary 3, she got a scholarship from a reputable private school where she finished her primary education. So at age 10, Mmesoma won a scholarship from the state government after a mathematics competition that was held in the state. The scholarship came with a first prize of 2 million naira cash and a scholarship through secondary school and also a scholarship through the university in one of the best universities in the country. The program was aired on the network service, which usually aired all over the country. So that was how Okezie's siblings and Adaora's siblings saw Okezie and Adaora in the TV, standing and smiling, taking pictures with the star girl whose intelligence has lifted and brought her parents to limelight. We are so astonished. They could not understand how and when Okezie and Adaora had a child. It was a puzzle that they got to solve. When did Adaora and Okezie a child that is this grown? They wondered. Adaora's siblings all came together and decided to pay their sister a visit. They found out that Okezie and Adaora have moved to another part of the city. So with the help of Adaora's neighbor, they were able to get the address where they have moved to. Adaora and Okezie were in their home one Saturday afternoon when they had an August visitor. They were surprised to see Adaora's siblings. They welcomed them, and soon Okezie's siblings also arrived. Okezie and Adaora welcomed them to their home. They were all happy to reunite again after 13 years. However, Adaora and Okezie had to introduce Mmesoma to their siblings. They all admired Mmesoma's beauty and high IQ. So after some time, Okezie got up. He said to them, "This child you all see here is our flesh and blood. My wife became pregnant miraculously after Mama's burial. You see, I allowed you all into our home because we still have the same blood running in our veins as a family. But you see, a lot of things have changed now. My wife and I have decided to live our lives as if we have no siblings, as if we have no family. I thank you all for making me see the other side of life, the reality of life. I have thought that you all would be different, but I was mistaken. I have learnt my lesson the hard way. To my siblings, anything I did not give to you people was my blood. I gave my sweat to you all to have your happiness today. But you all neglected and abandoned me. You took all my sacrifices for granted. Well, still have no regrets. All I did for you, because I know whatever a man sows, that he will reap. You see how God came through for us. We are trying to save up money for IVF. God came, miraculously gave us Mmesoma. We paid nothing to have Mmesoma. It's okay, dear, Daora interjected. To my siblings, I have nothing much to say, but that time will tell. If the way you people treated us was right before God, then no problem. If not, I am not the judge here, but I know nature is always there. Agi, the business your husband is doing today, whatever success he has achieved today, your brother and I supported you financially. We gave you all our shoulder to cry on, and when we needed yours, you threw us away as if we were nothing. Chibike, your brother, that is now based in Canada, we took loan to pay for his flight and 6 months accommodation. And when my husband called him on the phone, he kept busying my husband's call. Just like my husband said, I have no regrets for all I did for you all. I'm happy for whatever you have achieved for yourself. We as a family have decided that you should not come to our house again or come near my child. We are family, but stay away from us. Adaora and Okezie's siblings, we are all lost for words. They could not utter a word. They were stunned, all ashamed of themselves. As their heads were all bowed, they could not raise their heads to face their brother and sister, who have been a father and a mother to them all these years. They were so sorry for everything. Adaora and Okezie's siblings all pleaded for forgiveness. They were so sorry for their wrongs. But Okezie and Adaora firmly stood on their ground that they had nothing to do with them. So they left Okezie and Adaora's house in shame, guilt, and pain in their hearts. Okezie, who have been using his car as a taxi, took the money that Mmesoma won in the math competition to start his stationery business again. This time, he was determined to give his daughter and Adaora the better life they deserved. Adaora and Okezie lived with Mmesoma happily ever after. Thank you so much for watching this story until this time. I'm so grateful to you all for your support for this channel. Please, I want us to comment in the comment section the moral lessons we have learned from this story. I also would want to ask, was Okezie and Adaora wrong, sacrificing to give their siblings a better life? Also, if you're Okezie and Adaora, what would you do to your siblings after the way they treated you? Let's continue in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts on this so we all can learn together as a family. Please support my channel by subscribing. Give this story a thumbs up. Also share our stories with your loved ones and friends. And until we meet again next time, stay blessed and bye.